Depuis des plombes que j'attends dans cette caisse, une phrase me revient sans cesse. Tout être humain, quelle que soit sa race, sa nationalité, sa foi religieuse ou son idéologie, est capable de tout et de n'importe quoi. J'ai oublié qui a dit ça, mais ça n'a pas d'importance. Je m'appelle Da.
Voilà la porte de l'enfer. Il a un nom, ton coq? S'en fout là-bas. S'en fout là-bas.
So, this is the second film that you made with Claire. The first was Chocolat.
Yes.
And so how did that, because that's a long relationship. You've done three now and maybe a fourth?
Yes, soon. We did Chocolat first. Actually, Chocolat, Claire read the script and I got the script. No, first she told me, that's what she told me, because when she was casting for Chocolat, I was on stage with Patrice Chéreau in France. And I was doing a play of Bernard-Marie Coltès. In the loneliness of the cotton fields, in the loneliness of the cotton field, dans la solitude des champs de coton in French. And Claire saw Black Micmac, which was a comedy. And she said, no, this is not my actor, because she was looking for drama stuff. So I happened to be on stage with Patrice, and Claire came to see the play. And she loved the play, she loved the character, because it was totally different from what I was doing in Black Micmac, the film. So she offered me the part in Chocolat. And I remember she came with Wim Wenders one night to see the play with Wim, because Wim was a co-producer. And Wim said, oh, he saw the play. He said, yeah, he's a great actor, but I don't think he's the portée. And Claire said, listen, you're going to see him after the play. You're going to come, to the bar, have a drink. Because in the play, on stage, I was a big belly. I was totally transformed. I was like 200 pounds. And when Wim saw me at the cafeteria, he said, oh, now I understand. It can be portée in your film. So we became friends with Claire, and Claire loved Bernard-Marie Coltès, his writing. So when we shot Chocolat in the north of Cameroon, in Mindif, Maroua, Mindif, I have a spare ticket. I asked for a ticket for my companion for the production. And when the time came, they said, who's coming to you as your companion wife? I brought Bernard-Marie Coltès to north of Cameroon. So Claire was so happy. So they became friends. And after the play, I was doing another play of Bernard. And Claire and Bernard love each other, And I was doing another play, Return to the Desert, with Michel Piccoli and Jacqueline Maillan, also Patrice Chéreau. And there was an extension, and I said, Patrice, I can't do the extension. You got to find another actor. He said, yeah, you have another project? I said, no, I'm going on vacation. I said, you going on vacation? I said, yes. I can't do the extension. I'm going on vacation, and I can't, postpone this vacation. And I went to Mexico with Bernard, because Bernard, at the time, he was sick. And we went to Mexico for a month. We went to Mexico, Taxco, Oaxaca, Cuernavaca. And after, one day I came to the hotel and Bernard disappeared. I couldn't find Bernard. I called, we have a friend, Carlos, who was a friend of Bernard as well. He's a Mexican guy living. I called Carlos, I said, where is Bernard? He said, I don't know, but Bernard wanted to go to Guatemala. So Bernard went to Guatemala by himself. He came back. We went to Paris. And Bernard and Claire went to Portugal to write a script called White Material at the time. And they couldn't finish because after 2 weeks, Bernard passed away. So Claire was totally down, She was lost, and she came to me. She said, Isaac, I don't know, what can you do? Do you have an idea? I said, Claire, maybe I have an idea. I don't know what it's worth. But 2 friends, they go on a mission, and one never come back. So it become No Fear, No Die. So she went to write with a co-writer, and it became No Fear, No Die. And we were supposed to shoot No Fear, No Die in East Berlin, between East and West Berlin, underground, because the country was still East Germany and West Germany. And in '89, that was April '89, Bernard passed away. So November, the wall came down. And the wall came down, Berlin, the Senate in Berlin, they pulled out their money. So Wim was no more co-producer of the movie. And Alex and I, we were in Martinique training for the cockfighting. And in January, Claire called us and she said, hey, listen, I don't know if we will be able to make this movie because we don't have the money and we can't shoot in East Germany anymore, and et cetera, et cetera. And we were still in training for the cockfighting. She said, listen, the guy, don't get disappointed. I'm going to try to see if I can move the film outskirts of Paris. So 2 weeks after, she came with the script, in Paris, and we were able to do that.
And so, okay, so now we get to this film, which looks like, I can't imagine how you made it. I can't imagine just the choreography of it.
No, we had an incredible coach. Actually, the coach is in a movie, Yvon Dram, the guy with the red hat and the red polo shirts, short sleeves. He's next to Arden in the end, when the fight with Tony fighting with the gypsy guy, Cox. In the end, he comes to prepare the Tony with the spurs, and then he stands with Arden close to him. Yvon Dram is the one who was coaching us. He's an amazing coach, for the cockfighting. And he came to Paris with the cocks. We have like 50 roosters we brought from Martinique. And all the 50 roosters, by the way, they went back to Martinique. That was amazing. It's an incredible, and of course, the cinematographer, the choreography, it was great.
So how much of this film did you, how much of it did it cut to the script? Or was there much more? Or how loose were the scenes? I don't mean like the big speech that you do at the end, which is clearly written and, makes me weep. But a lot of the scenes seem to grow out of action, and the action might not have been in the script, might not have been. I'm just always been curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, there were some scenes like, because we were shooting in mostly in Rungis, the outside the huge market, fruit market and meat market, meat packing district. And Claire with Agnes, and yes, Agnes, Pascal Marty, I think. Science, no, still, yeah, because it's heavy camera. She was science. The script was written, but also open. There were some scenes, like in the nightclub scenes. It was like a sketch of it, and we got to fill it up a little bit. And Claire and Alex. I mean, Alex is amazing. He's one of best underrated actors in France, and I still wonder why he doesn't work a lot, because he's an incredible actor. Not because he's my friend. And Claire really trusted us. Even all the scenes, for example, the scenes where I'm going back to Paris looking for him. I mean, it was very, very loose, all the search. She allowed us to fill up, She got the canvas, but we got to fill it in.
And the idea of you coming from Benin and Alex coming from the French West Indies, you were such different people, and I've always thought that there was some idea of the two of you coming from different cultures, but yet being friends. I mean, being complements of each other.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know if you go because Martinique and Guadeloupe, all this island, had a very special relation with the colonizer, with France, even Haiti, Haiti became independent, for a century, but, France still collecting money from them today. But so there's some kind of deep, deep sadness. I wouldn't say in the people, but over the country, Whereas in Africa, we've been colonized, but it's since we independent, we agreed to maybe deal with France, but it doesn't take out, the life out of us. So whereas in Martinique, we still have some resentment with the colonizer, and it's understandable because even today the laws are not the same in Martinique as they are in France, in Paris, for example, or in Réunion, or in Caledonia, per se. So yes, it's we can be poor in Africa, but the joy is still there. The joy you can be still resent it. I mean, still capture it. Whereas in the island, it's very deep, encrusted in I wouldn't say in the soul of a country, but kind of. So it makes it complementary. I mean, with Alex, I had a great time because people who don't know Alex think Alex is always sad. But when I'm with Alex, I mean, it's a joyful man. It's just outside. I mean, it's another person outside. whereas I try to be the same person all the time.
So, okay, so then you make this big jump and you come not so long after this film to the U.S., and you begin working here, and you begin working with someone who is a friend of Claire's, Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah.
But you stayed. You know, Alex is in France. You stayed here, and you have worked nonstop in America. I mean, I just went to the Wikipedia page, and I know you, but I was totally unaware that you have never stopped working, like every year, and some of it is good movies, and some of it is not so good movies. But when you came, you had
You're right.
I know I'm right. You had a particular interest in American independent movies, and particularly working with people who are working on first films.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really blessed to have met all those people I work with along my career, because first I met Jim. When I met Jim, I even didn't know Claire when I met Jim. The first time I met Jim, it was in Cannes, '83. Jim had done Stranger Than Paradise, black and white film. And me at the time, after I was in a drama school, and I was working at the same time in a video club, which is called Video Club de France. And we're like first computerized the system. So I did a little bit of computer science, you know, in a college, university. So the company, Video Club de France, my boss, I was working like 2 days a week on a weekend. And I go to the company and put everything to the computer, the small IBM computer, the first, IBM computer. And my boss was the biggest video club in France, actually the first one who started to buy the movies and put them on a video. And it was interesting in the big films, big names of films. I mean, he has an incredible catalog. And since he knew I was an actor, he said, okay, I'm going to send you to Cannes. The first time in Cannes, I went to Cannes, so I saw Stranger Than Paradise. So after the movie, I called my boss in Paris. I said, listen, I saw a great movie. We got to buy it and put it on video. He goes like, what movie? I said, Stranger Than Paradise. I said, no, forget about this movie. So, and same afternoon, I was working Canet, and I ran into Frédéric Mitterrand. And Frédéric Mitterrand at the time has some cinemas in Paris, independent cinemas, And Frédéric Mitterrand, he kind of liked me. I don't know, I was handsome or whatever, young. And so he approached me, introduced himself, said, what are you doing tonight? I said, no, I'm not doing anything, He said, oh, this is a flyer. Yeah, there's a party on
This was before he was the prime minister.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I went to the party on the hill of Cannes. The same day I saw Stranger Than Paradise. Here, Jim Jarmusch. I said, no, I got to talk to him. I got to approach him. I mean, I got to tell him I love his movies. So I found my way. So I approached him. I said, hi, I saw your movies today. And this is my headshot with 2 lines, I haven't done anything at the time. So he went to New York. I went back to Paris. And I haven't heard of him until I did Chocolat with Claire. And Claire was his first AD on many movies. Down by Law and Mystery Train. And Claire was so Claire was in Paris, February, I think, '88. She was editing Chocolat. And Jim went to Paris. He went to editing room to visit Claire, and he saw this guy on a small day. He said, I met this guy many years ago. That's how we connected with Jim.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.